Hello everyone, welcome to the Valley News Now Network. Duke Schindler here joining you on this very, very blustery and extremely cold day as we have a few more ahead of us here coming up. So that's why we're going to go through some of these road conditions as we saw a little bit of snow here to start off the day. Now it's just getting a little windier and windier. So we want to make sure everyone obviously gets home safe here and take a look at road conditions, and if you guys have a specific place you want me to check out, feel free to drop it in the comments so I can check that out for you. Make sure everyone gets a peek here at where they're going, where they're heading, and how they're getting home here. So we're going to go through things here kind of as we have done in the past. Started off with a little bit of Lisa and what she has to say here. I'll move this over so it's a little easier to see what is going on here. We are in a winter weather advisory, cold weather advisory, extreme cold warning, and extreme cold watch right now. You're certainly going to see why in just a second here. Obviously, as North Dakotans, we've seen this before, but it's no less dangerous than it was, obviously, back then all the way up to now. But right now, we're sitting at 14 degrees with some snow coming down in some areas. We'll go through the radar here in a second and see what that says as well. Feels like -3 outside, the wind about 17 miles an hour, not counting wind gusts. And it did feel a little bit like 14. It didn't feel too cold out there at the time, so good for that so far because it's going to dip fast. Obviously, you can see right here for the hourly, 15 degrees, heading and dropping quickly all the way into tomorrow morning about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. when people are starting to wake up. We're taking a look at -5, -7 with around 20-mile-an-hour winds as well. That's going to be a sharp bite in the morning. These cold weather days really pack a punch here, and it's only going to get colder as the day moves on, right? It starts at 8 a.m. at -5. Well, we're pretty much almost tripling the amount of cold to -14, -15, 16, 18, 19, 20. You get the gist. It is going to be cold out there. -24 heading into the 23rd as well. So this is the reason why we have some first alert weather days up and about here. And this isn't even counting wind chills either. So yeah, it's going to be -24, but with some winds, it can make you feel very close to -40, -50. 3-day outlook, obviously we're sitting at 18 degrees here on Wednesday, and then, like I mentioned, we went through, it's going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping all the way down to -24, and heading into Friday, we're not even going to sniff anything above 0 or above -10 for that matter, -11 for the high, -20 for the low coming on Friday. That's not the end of it as well. Heading into Saturday, a little bit warmer. Take that as you will. -7 for a high, Sunday -5, and then some good looking temps, especially for January here. If you see almost double digits, that's a good sign. Heading all the way into next Friday, be 15, not this Friday, next Friday. All right, let's take a look at our radar here. We'll start off in the past. So obviously, when most of us woke up this morning, hit the roads, there was plenty of people that slid off the roads, highways, 94, 29 into the ditch. Make sure, we're going to be talking about it, but make sure you're watching out for that ice as well as the black ice. That's going to be out there, especially with so many cars on the road on your commute home. This is at about 8:50, heading into 9 o'clock this morning. As you can see, these systems just kind of stay over Fargo and just coat the area for quite some time. They love sticking around and giving that Midwestern goodbye before it heads out. Then as soon as we got to about noon, we still had some scattered places, and that's what a lot of this is going to be for these first alert weather days. It's not more so the snow that's going to be coming, or if it even comes, it's going to be those winds that really blow that snow and make it hard for drivers, and obviously -24 isn't going to help either. We'll keep moving on here pretty much to where we are right now. Like I said, it's just going to be scattered snow throughout the next couple days if we even see it. Some places in Fargo may see some snowflakes, some may not. So that's what we're kind of running into here. Now taking a look at what it's going to look like for the rest of the day, at least from this radar view. Starting at about 2:35 here, and we'll just keep it moving and rocking. Yep, like I mentioned, scattered snow, and then we'll get into tomorrow where it's just going to be bitterly cold. Some places, as we zoom out, we'll still have a little bit of snow in the area, kind of going through Devil's Lake there, a little bit north of Devil's Lake. And that's going to be heading into tonight. That's going to be your radar. Now let's take a look at some of these sky cams here, some of my favorite parts, and we're going to get to road conditions in just a second after we take a look at what things just look like outside right now. When I was doing the noon show earlier today, it was very, very gray on those sky cams. Kind of hard to see. Visibility wasn't great, but we got some sun peeking out. The clouds are moving out of the area, but as they do, that's where the colder temperatures are going to come into play. Grand Forks, let's see what our neighbors up north are up to here. It's always something with Grand Forks. It's either just perfectly moving traffic with clear skies, or it's just going to be a lot of what we see here, just not the greatest visibility, and at least traffic's moving through pretty nicely there. Taking a look at our handy dandy and trusty Dakota Magic sky cam here. Looked a lot worse earlier today, that is for sure. Still have very, very high winds coming, and obviously making it tough for drivers to hit the road here. And we're going to move over to maps right now in just a second. So if you want me to check out, I'll mention again, if you want me to check out any areas, feel free to let me know. We'll turn off the cameras for now, give you a closer and good look at what these road conditions are looking like right now as I'll pull up the key. A lot of striped purple, which is going to mean scattered snow drifts, obviously very prevalent with the blowing winds here at this time. And then just as you get outside of Fargo to the west, you're going to see some ice, compacted snow roads. That's going to be your solid yellow lines, and then your striped yellow is going to be scattered ice. So take that with what you will. It can get very dangerous. One second you're going to be driving, feeling like it's all nice, and then next second tap on the brakes and you're sliding. So always be wary of that scattered ice, compacted snow kind of mix. That can make for a troublesome drive home, to say the least. But otherwise, pretty much what you'd expect here with early morning snow. And obviously that's slowly going to be cleaning up here. We'll take a look at some cams, go a little bit, start off in Fargo, head a little bit north and see where that takes us here. Actually, let's start down in Wahpeton here, just west of Wahpeton. This is what things are looking like on I-29. Not too bad here at this time. Looking like the roads are pretty clear. You got some coverage on the left side of the lane, but nothing out of the ordinary. Taking a look at coming off of 29 on North Dakota 13, Highway 13. And that's what you're going to see with that key, the scattered snow drifts. That's exactly what they're talking about here. A lot of high winds blowing that snow across. I'll say it once, I said it a million times. If you can see wind in a still image, it's heavy wind. All right, heading a little further north on 29. Closer to Fargo, not too bad. This is right near 64th Avenue, that exit as well. But you could maybe see there's some moisture there, could be some ice. Always be wary of what's in front of you here. Always also leave extra distance in between vehicles. Now I know we got some serious cold on the way, and one of the times I really remember it, when I lived in Minnesota near the St. Cloud area where I went to college, there was a polar vortex very prevalent in the area, and I think many of you would remember that as well. I believe that was 2019, but all the cars on the side of the roads, the city gave us all the time in the world pretty much to make sure our cars can start up again and get off the side of the road. But mine was trapped on the side of the road, and we were trying to get it going again. And my dad pulls up with a diesel tanker. He throws a tarp over my car and it tries to pretty much thaw it out. That did not work, but just being out there with him in minus 40, minus 50, it was a very hopeful time after 10, 15 minutes of trying to thaw a car out. Love the idea, Pops. Did not work. We'll get a little closer to 32nd Avenue South here. A little bit of coverage. Ooh, some moisture, potential ice on that bridge. Obviously, bridges can get a little more slick than your regular roads. A lot of that is concrete. And we'll get closer to I-29 and I-94. This is right near Fargo here, a little west. You can take a look for yourself. Gray skies. Picture was snapped at about 2:21. Hopefully that sun can do a little work and keep some of those roads clear for us. But as cold temperatures, we're seeing as cold as they get here, it's going to be tough for that snow to melt off. So hard to bank on the sun. And we'll get a little further north here. This is going to be near the 36th Street East ramp. Looks like things have slowed down just a little bit on that front. 30, yep. Coming off the frontage road. If you are driving on 94 and 29 tonight, always just be a little bit wary. As you can see, there is some definite coverage there that can keep your car from stopping whenever you want it to. So on your drive home, it's going to be thick traffic and things can change quickly. So always have your eyes peeled. 12th Avenue, I-29, a little further north. Going a little bit over the bridge off the exit here. Nothing too out of the ordinary. All right, and then as soon as we get a little further out of Fargo and it gets a little more flat, well, the wind plays a factor into this one. Oh, boy. Oh, my. This one was snapped 2:24, just before 2:25. That's what things are looking like about right now here at some parts of the area. Lots of coverage there. Lots of coverage. And when you see coverage like that, blowing snow and plenty of cars moving over that, it can quickly turn to ice too. Always make sure you're looking out for that. The 40th Avenue, that's looking clear. A lot of hit and miss here. A lot of hit and miss with these storms we've had all season, really, it feels like. Some areas look like a place out of a movie, and other areas, yeah, nothing crazy. We'll get a little closer to further north on I-29. I know we've checked out this road cam a few times. Nothing too bad on that part. And we saw a little bit of Grand Forks as we get into the area of Grand Forks here. This is what things are looking like. Visibility isn't great. A lot of blowing snow. This area should be seasonal / good. You can make the determination for yourself. I am not a meteorologist. That's going to be questions for our meteorologists, Summer and Russ and Lisa. All right. A little further out of Grand Forks. This would be north of Grand Forks on I-29. Not bad. Not bad. All right, let's get a little closer to West Fargo here, taking a look at these roads, which are supposed to be ice, compacted snow, and scattered ice. A little bit of sunshine, can't complain about that on a day like today after some snow we got. Nothing too shabby. Get a little further into West Fargo, visibility decent. It's going to be near Main Avenue off I-94. So if you're heading west on 94, it's not looking too bad right now. Also close to Main Avenue, and then as soon as we get near Castleton, sun peeking out. Okay, there we go. Yeah, if you're heading west, doesn't seem too bad here at this time. Obviously, make sure you look at the key here too. There's going to be some ice scattered and end up running into some snow drifts. And yeah, scattered snow drifts, snow-covered roads. As you get a little bit into Valley City here, this is what it's looking like. Yep, pretty much what you'd expect. You got a little sunshine here, and some coverage. Okay. A little further west of Valley City, you can see the wind is playing a factor into this one. Visibility not the greatest there, but getting closer to Jamestown. Coverage. Plenty of it. That cam might need to get cleaned off there a little bit. Oh boy. Yeah, if you're getting back into Jamestown, hope those plows are out and about, clearing up some of that space here. Looks like the left lane might be almost completely covered. Interesting, interesting. All right, we'll take one more last peek at Jamestown. You can see the wind is a lot more prevalent in this area as it gets a little flatter. Some snow coverage on those roads. I believe we went north, south, west, and start making our way into Moorhead here. This will still be on 94. Snowflakes still coming down in some areas. Not bad, not bad. See, really, as long as that wind isn't blowing the snow around, it should be not too bad of a drive home. And like I mentioned, if anyone wants to see any specific parts of the area that you want me to check out, feel free to drop it in these Facebook Live comments. I'm always checking them out, looking behind my shoulder here. We will move into, let's go over to Minnesota here, see what they're up to, give it a quick refresh, and take a peek at some of these conditions. Let's start a little bit north. I see we got some. Let me pull up the key here. Completely covered roads near Thief River Falls. Very much, not much pink here in the general area, but near Thief River we got some coverage here. Let's see if I can get some plow cameras, regular cameras up, see what we are dealing with. All right, this is going to be as kind of close as we get to that kind of coverage. Oh my! Wind definitely making its way onto those roads as, you can definitely see there. Some blowing snow if you're in that Thief River Falls area. Bring this back. And let's get a little close to, all right, Minnesota 175. Ooh, those are some snow-covered roads. This is from 224. Plow's always doing a great job out there. All right, let's get a little closer to Grand Forks and Crookston. Crookston always seems to have a little bit of something here going on. Not too bad, though. Not too bad. If you're heading to the Crookston area, it's looking pretty decent. As you can see, just a little bit of green in between these plow cameras here as you get into the city a bit. And now if you're going from Crookston to Grand Forks, visibility might not be great as you get into some real flat land there. And that blue is going to be, let me take a look at that. That's going to be partially covered roads, they call it. Partially covered from US 2, Highway 2, heading to Grand Forks. As you get a little closer to Grand Forks, this is what we're taking a look at. Not great conditions. Excuse me on that one. And as we move into Grand Forks, it's a lot of hit and miss here. A lot of hit and miss this season. Got some really good looking places where, driving seems pretty nice, but other places where it's like, you don't want to get near that area. Unless you have to, of course. All right. Now let's take a look at closer to Fargo, Moorhead, and even Dilworth a little bit. Some good coverage on Highway 10 here at 14th Street, coming, looks like right out of the stoplight there. Well, play a little of the video, see what we can look at, see if there's anything spicy going on. Yep, just sitting at a stoplight, making their way downtown, walking fast. Yep, you can see everyone's going at an appropriate speed there. We'll stick around Moorhead here. Just checked out the 14th Street cams. This is near First Ave on US 10. Not bad, not bad. Everyone's taking their time, giving a little extra time to slow down, get closer to traffic, but I don't see many people slipping or sliding here. But you never know, obviously. Tires definitely make a big difference in this type of weather. I used to have little Chevy Cobalt myself and got some real nice snow tires on there one year while I was in high school. And man, while everyone was really scared to go out and about, if you sent us home for a snowstorm, everyone was scared to drive but me because those tires were doing work. I felt the most confident I have ever been behind the wheel. All right, a little closer to Dilworth, 34th Street. And you can just see those heavier vehicles too, just definitely taking their time. What in the... What? Excuse me. All right. I see that person kind of just just running there. Hopefully, oh, it looks like there might have been an accident up here, it looks like. Okay. Looks like this person is just trying to help. So that's the type of stuff you're going to be running into here and there. Obviously, some places more prevalent than others where ice is going to be around, but yeah, you can see right here in the top left that looks like there's some kind of accident going on. That person was just on a mission to maybe see if they're okay or something. Hopefully everyone was okay. But that's just going to be one of the many hazards we see as we get to these closing hours of the workday. So make sure you're driving safe, looking all around you, checking your mirrors all the time, and giving extra distance too. All right. Let's go a little bit south. I see we got some pink roads here on 94. Okay, this is near 12th Ave on US 75. A very popular road, obviously. Not bad, not bad. You know, if you remember the last time I did this, the road conditions, there was a bobcat in the middle of the road in one of these videos. I'm still upset about that. We didn't get to see where that came from or where they went with that. US 75 near 20th Avenue. Seems pretty general here after a little bit of a dusting and some snow coverage on these roads. It's going to vary, though. Some places definitely got more than others. All right. So this is going to be on I-94 this time around. Near Main Ave. 20th Street. There's a little bit of coverage, but nothing too bad here coming to the later hours of our commute. Taking a look at some road cams. This one's going to be on Minnesota 336, snapped at 233. Now it's going to be heading towards and south towards I-94. Not looking too bad, just prevalent winds, really. All right. We'll check out, go a little further south here. Let's check out Abercrombie. There's always something going on there. This is going to be off of, once again, US 75. Pick snapped at 243. That's looking not too bad. Looking good for a truck home. Rothsay always has some action. Yeah, some coverage. You can see wind blowing, obviously, but yeah, in the end, generally pretty clear. Get a little closer. Yeah. Okay. Overall road conditions, I mean, they certainly aren't favorable for a drive home, but absolutely could be worse. All right, just a little outside of Fergus are not going to give us one. Parkdale, right near 59. 245, these picks were just about snapped, and oof, some big winds coming. All right. And we'll get a little closer to Evansville, too. For those with a longer drive, might as well take a peek, see what we got here. Potential for some ice, but I'll let you guys be the judge here as well. All right, a little closer to Alexandria, and we're going to wrap this up. I do not see any comments on places to check out, so we'll just keep things moving here. Set the rest area, definitely a lot of coverage. All right, just a little south. Minnesota Highway 29 near Alexandria. Just your basic coverage, it looks like. Not too bad. Not too bad. And one more just for the heck of it on some pink covered roads near US 10 at Lake Park. All right. Well, I don't think I see any comments here, so thank you guys very much for hopping in here, checking out some road conditions. I'll give one last look and refresh here to the Fargo area so we know what we're getting ourselves into. Take off the cameras. We're south. Get up north to Fargo, West Fargo. This is what things are looking like according to the North Dakota DOT website. These solid yellow right here, that's going to be ice compacted snow potential. The striped yellow is going to be scattered ice. Much of that on Highway 18 there. And once you get into Fargo and start hitting 29 and whatnot, that's going to be your striped purple for scattered snow drifts. And as we look through those very many pictures, yeah, that wind's definitely playing a part in those scattered snow drifts and road conditions. All right, no comments here on place to check out. So we'll go through what Lisa has for us on this one more forecast as we move in and get closer to our 4 p.m. show where you can catch myself, Duke Schindler, and Summer Schnellbach giving us a lowdown on what things are looking like for your commute home. Right now, blowing snow at 14 degrees. Feels like -1 right now, and that's going to feel warm compared to the next couple days as we got some winds at 14 miles an hour, not counting gusts. Those are much more prevalent. Currents heading into tonight, -3 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds coming at a 17 mile an hour without the gusts. And then this is where it gets very spicy here. So we're at 15 right now, right? But as we get closer to the night into next morning, we're going to be seeing some -5, right? When 6, 7 a.m. when people are starting to wake up. It's only going to get colder from here on out, basically, because as we scroll down just a little further, we're seeing -14 at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Then heading into the 23rd, that's going to be Friday, if I remember correctly. My sister's birthday. Shout out Emily. Yeah, sister's gonna have a pretty cold birthday here. -20. And that's not even counting the wind chill that's going to come with it. Northwest winds at 13 miles an hour. As we get even further into the day when people are starting to wake up, -24. I don't think I've seen that in a very, very long time. Like I mentioned, if you've been here through the whole stream, all 6 of you, shout out to you guys and listen to me yap and ramble. Gets a little warmer as we move through the day on Friday. And as we take a look at, scroll up here, our 3-day, this is where it's going to get very, very cold. As we mentioned, Thursday, -15 for a high, -24 for a low. Those winds, not ideal. Open it up and, well, yep, that's what we're going to be seeing and experiencing here. So we'll have you definitely updated on any school closings, whatnot, as we kind of get through this massive, massive cold spell. Thursday, for heading into Friday, -11 for a high, -20 for a low. Hopefully get a little bit of sunshine. That'd be nice. And we move into the next week here, looking at our 10-day forecast. Saturday, Sunday, still going to be very, very cold in those negative degrees. But, hey, at least as we move into Monday, 9. How about that? Nearing double digits. -2 for a low. Winds, they're just going to be prevalent. Welcome to Fargo. And moving into next Thursday, almost a week from today, yes, we do get to see double digits heading into Friday. That's going to feel, whether the wind is making and playing a factor, it is going to feel far better than -24 without wind chill. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up right there as we take one more look at this radar. This is going to be future, so we're at about 3 p.m. here. As it stands and as we move it a little further, we're just going to see some scattered snow throughout the area moving through the night. Should be clear coming into tonight and heading into tomorrow morning, but I'll leave that to our first alert, I should say, meteorologists to give you the lowdown on that. But thank you guys very much for joining me here on this road conditions live stream. If you like what you see, make sure you have the VNL app downloaded on your smartphone or mobile device. And if you got a smart TV, why not, right? The VNL apps should be on there if you got a Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. Never miss what we're doing here on the desk when it comes to road conditions and whatnot. But for Duke Schindler here on the desk, we'll see you for our 4 o'clock show. We'll catch you later.